Alright YouTube, it's Tim Robson here. Just doing a little short video just to run down my my list of cutting implements, my sharp things. Accumulated these over the past maybe 10-15 years. Had some of them for not very long and some of them for a very long time. Right, I'll get into it. I'm going to start off with this knife. This is my first knife. I've had it for about 15 years. It's a Mulet knives. I do believe they're Spanish. Now the reason I don't use this knife anymore is because it's falling to pieces. I need to get some araldite on it. It comes to bits, as you can see. But apart from that, it's been a really good knife. It's served me very well. It's Spanish inox steel, which is kind of like quite a hard wearing stainless. It's a 7-inch blade, kind of like this rubberized sort of semi-squidgy handle. Reasonable nice shape to it. I've never been much of a fan for finger grooves, but this one does the job. You can see the name on it there, name and make, made in Spain, inox steel. Yeah, it's a really good knife. It's still really sharp. I'm not going to do any like shaving or anything like that because, well, it's not a razor blade. I've cut a tree down with this knife before. I've split logs with it. I've feather sticked, gutted animals, fish. It's a very good multi-purpose knife. It's kind of like a Bowie style blade with quite a high angle Scandi grind on it. Bit of a swedge here, just for low profile tip. But the knife I bought to replace that with, yeah, I was right the first time, is this. It's just an Anglo Arms knife, 440C stainless steel, and with some of my personal etching on there. That's my initials, both sides of the blade. Just etched that with a motorcycle battery and some salt water. I also sanded off the blade, so it was a pretty rough looking blade when I bought it. It's a really not a very good knife. I mean, it's razor sharp at the moment, but it doesn't keep an edge for very long. I think it's just a 4-inch blade, basic kind of bushcraft outdoors style knife. It's a pretty good knife. Handle fits your hand nicely. It's got a nice bit of jimping on the back of there. It's not too aggressive, and a little groove for striking a fire steel with. And it comes with a fire steel in the little pocket. One that I haven't used because I've got a far better, thicker one in my fire kit. I've got a little S-beaner on there, and also some paracord round through the back with just a simple knot, and I don't really know what you call these. I'm going to call it a toggle knot. So you just stick this end through the hole and then pop it past the knot, and basically I use this for a side carry on my belt. S-beaner goes to one of my belt loops, and then these go sideways like that across my belt, which is a good comfortable way of carrying a knife. It doesn't dig into your hip when you sit down. But yeah, that's I used to just use this knife for everything, cutting, chopping, slicing, everything, and then I went to having a smaller knife and a machete. Now this is yet again another cheap Anglo Arms made piece of crap. but it does the job. You probably have seen this in previous video that I did just on my machete. It's a kukri style blade, and again I've etched it there, my initials, and on the other side as well. Yeah, kukri style blade. It used to be a black blade with like a horrible designed zombie on it, and I stripped the blade back to just the bare metal, sanded it down, and also carved this handle for it. It used to have a horrible plastic handle, but yeah, I carved this out of a piece of ash. No, it wasn't ash, silver birch, piece of silver birch. And now the edge retention on this being 440C stainless is, look, just a tiny groove in my thumb. I'm not cut myself there. I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on it. The sharpest bit of the blade is down here, because it's the bit that gets the least use. But yeah, I'm going to be getting a better machete, because I do like them. They're really useful for clearing paths, clearing campsites, and, you know, taking sticks off branches and stuff like that. Next up, I've got my two saws. I've got a yeoman. That was just from a garden centre. It's got like a catch lock. You hook the blade up and then lock that down. It's a good saw, but it only has cut one way teeth, and they're really aggressive teeth, and it just bites into the wood too much to get a good saw on the go. Like you can just get completely caught up in the wood and snagged. This is just like £2 from Wilkinson's, and that, in my opinion, is a better saw than the more expensive one from a garden centre. The teeth cut both ways. The teeth are a lot smaller and a lot less aggressive, so you can just, you know, get right through the wood a lot quicker and a lot easier. Yeah, and then I've just got a little multi-tool here. It's a little gift from Carlisle195. Just chucked it in with a bunch of other stuff he gave me. Pair of pliers, you know, basic stuff like knife and saw and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I carry this with me all the time. It's plenty useful. There's a little knife on it there. It's non-locking, and it's like 1.5 inches long, so UK legal. Carry that with me in my pocket all the time. And yeah, usually use this for fixing my motorbike because it breaks so many times a day. Anyway, that's been that really. That's my little array of cutting tools. I do have a couple of swords and stuff, but they're just, you know, they're dead blades. They don't have edges on them. They're just for show. But this is what I use for out in the woods. Hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Yeah, take care.